You're listening to the Happy Workaholic podcast. I'm your host, Kellyanne Gorman. This show was once about business, LinkedIn, and my life with an autoimmune disease. And then one day I found out I was misdiagnosed, so I had to switch things up a bit. Life is so short, and when you're given a second chance, you better believe I'm going to take it, celebrate it, and share it with you. I'm on a mission to help women take their business and life to that next level they deserve to be at. This show is intended to elevate your mind, upgrade your business, enhance your life, and become part of a positive and uplifting community. Inspiration, motivation, and determination are what got me to where I am today, and I cannot wait to share these amazing stories of other female entrepreneurs who will be featured on the show. If you have a story or brand you want to share, send me a message on Facebook and Instagram today. You can find me at The Happy Workaholic. I would love to connect with you. Do you want a live chat during this episode? Make sure you're listening on iHeartRadio. I'm here to remind you to work hard, stay humble, follow your dreams, and never, ever give up. Thanks for taking the time to subscribe to the Happy Workaholic podcast. And now let's get into today's show. Are you someone who enjoys a schedule? Are you obsessed with that new planner of yours? Do you love the feeling at the end of the day when your to-do list is checked off? Maybe you're ready to get super focused in your home and work life. Well, my friends, I have just the gift for you. I've created some business, mindset, and organizational tools that are available for you today. Simply visit thehappyworkaholic.com and sign up to receive my weekly newsletter. Once you confirm your email, those tools are sent your way, as well as a link for you to join my exclusive Facebook group, The Happy Workaholic Network. This is a community for women who want it all and deserve it all. It's a place for you to meet others just like you, to share what you have going on in your everyday life. New business, new baby, new recipes, new workouts, and so much more. It's all allowed because, as I always say, sharing is caring. The Happy Workaholic Network is also the home for the conversations to continue after each episode of the Happy Workaholic podcast. If this sounds like something that you want to become a part of, then join us today. I cannot wait to see you in the group. And don't forget to tag me on Facebook and Instagram at The Happy Workaholic when using your tool so I can share your work on my stories. Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new show. Today is going to be jam-packed, full of information for you so that you can launch your own podcast. I get asked every day on all my social media platforms, messages through my website, like how did I do it? What equipment do I use? How do you put everything together? And obviously as a coach and producer, I have programs to do that, but I wanted to really do a full show on how to launch your own podcast and how you need to begin, because you just need to start. It's really not that stressful. Just make it happen. If you turn back or scroll back wherever you're listening and listen to some of my first few episodes, I cringe, but guess what? They're still there because it's telling my story and it's sharing the information that I had for that particular episode. I'm not going to delete it, although some of them I really want to. But I just wanted to take the time and do a full episode for you guys and give you a lot of information that you're going to need on a kind of DIY situation. So go get those notebooks ready because you are going to want to take notes. So let's just jump right in. First thing I want you to do when you start this project is to go out, go to Michael's, go to Home Goods, go wherever you have the best notebook and journal situation and buy yourself a brand new one. I actually just was at Michael's the other day and they were $5 and they were the cutest ones. I need lines on my pages. Some of you can just write away and not have your words all over the paper. I, however, need a legal pad and lines, and that's just not a good situation for me. So props to you if you can write straight without those lines. But either way, you need a brand new notebook. You need to have a brand new notebook because this is a brand new project. And you're just going to feel so much better when you open that first page. And then down the road, once you have your show, looking back at your notes, it's just such a feeling of accomplishment. I like to do that every now and then because I have a million notebooks. But that's just something I like to do, is start a new project with a new notebook. So go out and buy yourself a cute new notebook or journal this weekend and just get to work. The first thing you're going to want to do is go somewhere that you feel comfortable, so that you can kind of have a brainstorming session with yourself and see like what it is you really want to talk about, whether it's a passion project or something that's going to be an extension of your business. You want to start to write everything down. So obviously this is what your notebook is for. Once you come up with the idea of the show, the next thing you obviously are going to need is a catchy title, something that's not going to be lost within the hundreds and thousands of podcasts. Something that's really catchy, that's going to want listeners to tune in, right? So one of my tips that I tell my clients, and I've done this for myself for a lot of projects, is once you come up with a name, you want to go to this synonyms.com, I think it is, and just start Googling synonyms of words, so that it's a play on words, it's really catchy, and it really helps you with figuring out a title, because that could be the hardest part. And as soon as you are like dead set on the title, then you go to GoDaddy.com, which is where you can buy your domain, or wherever you buy your domains, and purchase the domain immediately, because you're going to need it. And then down the road, if you decide to rebrand the show, then sell the domain or just keep it. I'm flipping and selling some domains right now that I don't need anymore. So you can make money in the end. Either way, you need to buy the domain. That is so important, because that is the home of where your show is going to live. Whether you're building it on a website or you have a plugin, you need that .com. You have to have that .com. So I just wanted to start off by telling you that. When you create the content for your show, that takes a long time, most of the time. Sometimes I've just come up with an idea and I just have like the best show ever, and it has like the highest amount of downloads, and I didn't write a thing down. That's really rare for me. I usually have to have a whole sheet of notes in front of me, or just like bullet points, so that I don't forget, so that I'm, producing a good show. I'm putting good content out there. I'm sharing everything that's in my head with you guys. So like right now, I'm reading off a legal pad. Because I didn't want to forget everything. I didn't want to forget anything, because this is a really important show, because so many of you have been reaching out to me and asking, so I didn't want to forget anything. When it comes to the content and creating scripts, that's really going to take you the longest for most people, I feel like. When you hear my commercials and you hear the introduction to my show, the outro, the music, that part takes hours. To put those scripts together takes a while. So, even in the beginning, you don't even have to do that. You could just start talking. But to have a complete show, this is something that you're going to need to do. So you want to have an intro, you want to have an outro, you want to have royalty-free music, copyright-free music, and all you need to do is go to Google and just Google that, and you will find so many websites where you can use the music and record over it and have them on your show, and it's just so easy. And like I said, you just need to start. This does not have to be a stressful project. You just want to start it correctly from the beginning, and I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. So a lot of people ask me how I record, and I'm not sure if you know this because I've said it a lot, but I've actually recorded more than half of my episodes on my iPhone. And I didn't have a microphone, like a fancy microphone in the beginning. I just recorded from my voice memos on my iPhone. And then I converted the file, and then I did the production part. And that's why you need software on your desktop. If you want to go out and buy a microphone, I would suggest the Blue Yeti. That's the one I have. It's amazing. I just love the quality of it. And it's nice to look at. It looks fantastic on my desk. But it's really preference. That's just what I prefer. And I didn't buy this microphone until I got on iHeartRadio. That was my goal. once they accepted my show, I pitched them for like 3 months. Then I would go out and buy this mic. So that's what I did. So all of the shows, over 100, maybe like 90 something of the shows, were recorded on my iPhone on voice memos. I still have clients that do that, and their shows sound amazing, and it's because of the production at the end of it. So this is, again, why you just need to start, because this is so simple of a project to do. I'm giving you all of my tips and tricks. You're writing all of this down, and you're just going to make it happen. It's very simple, and once you start, you're going to love it. You're going to get feedback from listeners. You're just going to feel good about sharing your story. I promise you. So once you record on your phone, you're going to want to convert that file, because the files are MP4s and you need to convert them to MP3, which is audio. And for those of you that are sitting on a ton of content, for example, YouTube videos, Facebook Lives, that can be converted into an audio file. And that, my friends, can be your podcast episode. So for those of you that do a ton of Facebook Lives and have a YouTube channel or videos you just haven't even published, you're sitting on so many episodes already. You can just convert the file. So the way that I do that is I actually have an app on my desktop. So depending on what computer you have, you can just Google, or just not even Google, just look on your desktop which apps are available, and you want to use an MP4 to MP3 converter. And it's very simple. So those of you that are not tech savvy, all you're going to need to do is just upload the original file, which would be your iPhone memo. And obviously you need to email that to yourself, save it to your desktop first, convert the file to audio, save it to your desktop, and you're going to use that to upload later on. It's very simple. And then the next step you're going to want to do is produce the show. And that is where you're going to have to look on YouTube and Google how to produce the show, because I can't really get into that right now. And that can be a little tricky, but once you watch a couple videos, listen, if I can do it, you can do it. And I taught myself a couple years ago, and now I feel like I'm really good on Audacity because of the sound and the quality of the shows that I'm producing. I think they sound pretty good. If they don't, let me know. So Audacity, like I said, is who I used for the production side of the show. A lot of people that use Macs have GarageBand. I prefer Audacity only because it doesn't chop up the files. And if you are wondering what that means, it creates like little pieces of the files, and you just want one simple file. So Audacity is who I use. So you want to download that software to your desktop. And then, like I said, go to YouTube and just watch like all the tutorials, because that's how I did it. And that's how, I got to where I am today. So if I can do it, you can do it. The next step you're going to want to do is find somewhere to host your show. How are you going to create this amazing show and then get it up into the world, onto all these syndicated platforms where you're listening to my show? On iHeartRadio, on Google Play, on Stitcher, on TuneIn, on Apple Podcasts, iTunes. You need a hosting program so that you can upload your show and have it heard, right? So I use Blubrry. It's Blubrry. When I'm all done with these steps, I'm going to actually give you guys some more information on them. But I've said this numerous times. They have the best customer service, and their hosting is so easy to use. And because they have the best service, when I started off, I was like a little bit stressed out. And those days can happen, but at least I started, right? So I was just so impressed by all the help and the customer service. And I don't think I would ever shift my show, because even today I had to call them on something and they called right back. And that's kind of rare. So I really appreciate the service that I get, and their platform's really easy to use. All of my clients are on it. I'm on it, obviously. So that's who I use. And this is something that you want to, my gosh, why do I have the hiccups? you really want to make sure in the beginning that you launch your show correctly, because you never know down the road how your show is going to be received. Your show could blow up. And if companies come to you looking for your stats and you don't have them because you started on an app, you're going to be a little bit stuck. So you want to make sure you do it right from the very beginning. So this is why I'm putting this show together, to give you all of my steps so that you can really show yourself, like, I can do this. Like, I have all these steps. I'm writing everything down. I'm going to live on YouTube all weekend and I'm going to figure this shit out. So when you use Blubrry, I actually have a free month code. Actually, not even a code. If you go to my shop page, you can see the affiliate links for Blubrry and GoDaddy and a bunch of other companies I have there. The first month is free with Blubrry hosting. However, you do not want to sign up with Blubrry until you actually have your shows and you're ready to go, because you're going to lose that first free month if you just sign up, because it does it automatically. So you want to wait until you're ready so that that first month is free. Now, speaking of price, a lot of you are asking me how much it costs to have a podcast. I pay Blubrry $20 every month. That's it. My cost is $20. However, I have double shows and a lot of large files, like big, I just should say longer shows. My clients have shorter shows, and sometimes when they go over, some months they do pay $20, but it goes by the size of the files. So most of the time, it's actually only $12 a month. So it's $12 to $20, and that is your only cost to have them uploaded and use this host, Blubrry. I mean, how amazing is that? Like, there's no like hidden fees. There's no extra money that you're going to have to pay at the end of the year, and you get the best service. Like, it's seriously amazing. I'm just like still so impressed by them every day. So in order to upload your show, Blubrry has a lot of YouTube videos as well on how to get that started. And Blubrry works with WordPress. So if you've ever been to my website, thehappyworkaholic.com, you'll see widgets on the side of my website on the right-hand side, and you can click those. And those widgets are all of the platforms that my show is syndicated to. So you have Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, iHeartRadio, all of those. iHeart is completely separate, so I actually shouldn't include them because I pitched them to be on there. But Blubrry syndicates your show to all the other platforms. So if you already have a WordPress website, Blubrry actually has a plugin. So then you start uploading your shows to your own website that you already have. And that really was useful and so helpful for me. However, not everybody has a WordPress website. You have Squarespace or Wix or something else that it's being hosted on, and you can't upload your show. So the great part about WordPress is that they offer a WordPress website. So you just build your own with them. And it's very, very simple. I think it's 5 or 6 pages that it's I think maybe 3 or 4 templates you can choose from. It's nothing fancy. It's no coding. You really just kind of drag and drop and then upload your show to it, and that becomes the home of your podcast. So you would have all your own widgets on the side. You can put your bio, the show's description. You can put affiliate links, your shop page, like anything you want. It's your baby. This is where your podcast is going to live. It's its new home. And Blubrry provides that free website for you on WordPress. So you can either have the plugin and have it look like mine, or you can have its own home and a very basic website for the home of your show. And when you upload your show, it's actually in a blog form. So if you go to my website, thehappyworkaholic.com, and click on my blog page, you'll see those blogs are actually the episodes that you've been listening to on your phones, most likely. So when you see the show notes, for example, on this show, or if you scroll back to like any other show, the show notes that you see and the links that you're clicking there, that's actually uploaded as a blog. And it makes it so easy. So that's why you want to make sure that all your links are embedded so that they're clickable everywhere. And there's even an audio player on your website. So somebody can listen on your website or on any of the syndicated platforms, which is like amazing. So once you upload your blog, then you upload the file that's converted that you've already figured out how to do. Thank God for YouTube, right? So you want to make sure that you are signed into your Blubrry account as well. And once you go onto YouTube, you can research everything about Blubrry. Again, it's Blubrry, no E. And there's a ton of tutorials on how to do the production side, which is really hard to get into when I'm on a microphone right now. But that's the technical part. So once you're uploading your podcast, you do it as a blog, you attach your audio file, and then you hit publish. And it takes 30 minutes or less. Sometimes it's immediate. Apple Podcasts, it's immediate, especially for subscribed listeners. You'll get the show right away. Sometimes it takes a couple minutes to syndicate throughout all the other platforms like Spotify and Google Podcasts and some apps. But if your listeners are subscribed, they get them immediately, which is like so amazing. Like technology is just like insane sometimes if you really stop to think about it. And then your show is live. So it's pretty, like it's really amazing like how fast you can actually get this done. However, when you are starting, this is the tricky part. You want to start your podcast and launch it right away. However, you have to wait and be patient because it will, each platform will tell you that it can take up to 10 to 14 days to upload your show. So you may have your show ready and you start announcing it, but you don't want to do that because your show is not going to be syndicated on all of your platforms for at least 2 weeks. Some are immediate, some take a day or two. Some are a little bit longer in uploading your media, especially if you change it in the beginning. It really depends, but Apple Podcasts will tell you 10 to 14 days. iHeartRadio is taking 2 weeks to upload my new media. So it really depends on that. So you want to make sure that everything is uploaded before you start announcing that you have a podcast if you want to keep it secret, right? You want to make sure that you have episodes there. I would have a couple, maybe like 3 episodes, so that your listeners can listen to a couple shows and get the vibe of like what you have to say, whether it's about business or your passion project, like I mentioned earlier. You want to catch the attention of them right away. Reviews are really important. They help with your show getting seen more. So that's really important. Reviews are also really hard to get. I'm not sure why. But you want to ask for a review from your listeners like right away. I do it all the time. It's part of my content on my show in the very beginning and at the end. So it's really important. Now, a lot of people ask me how to record when you have a guest. And the way that I do it is that I downloaded the app Zoom on my iPhone and I have a Zoom call and I usually just do audio. You can have video too, but I just do audio and I record that Zoom call that's happening on my phone. I have my phone on my tripod by my mic and I'm recording on Audacity, just like I am right now on my desktop. So you want to check your mic, make sure the sound quality is good, and then you just have your conversation and record it. It's really simple. That's the process I do. Sometimes, like one of my clients uses Facebook audio, and you want to make sure if you're going to record on Facebook audio that you both have really strong Wi-Fi connections and that your notifications are turned off because you're going to hear those little beeps, and you don't want that because it's annoying, honestly, for somebody to listen to. So Zoom is honestly the best way to record. Now, when it comes to your stats, and if you're wondering what your stats are what you can find in your Blubrry dashboard or whoever you decide to use. And that is going to show you what countries are downloading your show, how many downloads you have per show, and it's just everything and anything you need to know about your show. What kind of device people are listening on, what kind of platform you're listening on. For my show, my stats right now, I'm in 49 countries, and my goal is 50 by Friday. So I'm praying that that happens today because I love like reaching my goals. And then the top users are Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and then the devices, it's iPhones. So I've learned all of this information again from watching tutorials in the very beginning. And the dashboard is very easy to go through. And there's so many tutorials, like I said, on YouTube, but also on Blubrry on how to configure. You can actually download the PDF of your stats right there in your dashboard and send to a company. So if they were looking for, how many downloads you have per show, what countries you're getting, downloaded in, all you need to do is go to your dashboard, download the PDF, and email it to them. It's so simple. However, I have a media kit that's 6 pages long because I pitch big brands and I pitch big guests, and I want to be very thorough about who I am, why I have the show, and what you can, get out of the show. Because again, when you're pitching brands down the road, if your show is for business, you want to make sure that you're providing the best service for your client. So mine is very thorough. A 1 page might be perfectly fine. I have my social media stats. I have my personal bio. I mean, everything is in there. It's very thorough. And I just prefer it that way. And I have 2 different media kits. There's one I send to guests and there's one I send to brands. So down the road, that's something that you can always learn how to do. But in the very beginning, this is just to get you started. I'm giving you my tips and some tricks on how to just start correctly from the very beginning. And if you guys are like super confused, or maybe I'm going too fast and you're not understanding like what I'm saying, please just shoot me a message on Facebook and Instagram. You can find me at The Happy Workaholic, and I'll answer all of your questions, or send me an email, hello@thehappyworkaholic.com. Either way, obviously, I live online and I'm always here to answer your questions, but I've just been getting so many recently that I wanted to put together a full episode so that you would learn how to do it on your own from beginning to end. So once you are on your Blubrry platform or your show is syndicated, then you can just share it. And sharing is caring. So I say this all the time. So if you have a show, why are you not sharing it? I've met so many people that are like, oh, I just record. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, that's why nobody's listening. You need to share it with the world. Why are you spending all this time and money? Not even money, but I mean, our time is worth money, but why are you spending all this time recording and doing all the work and putting in like all these hours and not telling anybody about your show? You need to share this shit. You need to have your message heard, like whether it's for business or your passion project. Like, share it on your social media channels and be proud of what you just put in the work for. This is why you want a podcast. It's an extension of you. It's an extension of your business. It brings more ears and eyes and visibility to what you're working on. And that is so important, especially if you're putting in all this time. So to wrap up this show, I wanted to tell you guys about something that is happening right now. So first of all, I mentioned GoDaddy and I mentioned Blubrry. If you haven't used GoDaddy before and you are looking for an amazing hosting company, Blubrry, you can actually get deals on them. Like I said, the first month is free, and GoDaddy, I have a ton of offers. If you go to thehappyworkaholic.com and click on the shop page, you'll get your first month free with Blubrry, and then there's a whole lot of offers with GoDaddy right there. So please do that and save yourself some money. And like I said, do not sign up with Blubrry until you have your first few episodes ready. Otherwise, you're going to lose the first month because it's going to take you that long to put your show together, at least. So the second thing I want to tell you is that my commercial spots are $300 usually, and right now it's the 22nd. I'm having a sale until the end of the month, the 28th, for $99 for commercials on this show. How amazing is that? So if you have a brand, a product, a service, a passion project, you want to announce it to the world, you want to, get in front of my audience, I would love to share your message and your brand with my audience. So if you're listening and you have something that you really need to get in front of new eyes and ears, because I also post it all over my social media that you are the sponsor of today's show, I would love to work with you. So all you need to do is send me a message on Facebook and Instagram at The Happy Workaholic and let me know you're interested, and we can hop on a call today, this weekend, next week. Again, the offer is $99 for your very own commercial on this show. It's usually $300. I have, like I said earlier, a media kit that I can email you, and it has all the information for my show. So I'd be more than happy to do that. So that is one thing I wanted to share with you right now. The second thing is that as of a couple days ago, I put together an offer on Facebook, and it's called Name Your Price Podcast Coaching Offer. And this is for all of you listening to the end of the show, and for anybody that has wanted to launch their own podcast or just needs some coaching help, just needs some production help. Because there's so many of you reaching out to me, I decided to do this special offer until the end of the month, the 28th, February 28th. So we have a couple more days. Actually, Thursday, February 28th is Thursday. So we have a little bit under a week, and it's Name Your Price. So if your budget is $200, I'm going to tell you how much I can help you for $200. If you have $400 or if you have $59, then we can have multiple calls and figure something out and have you get started with your show. It's so important to just start. Don't be afraid because you don't, have everything together. It's a journey. You're going to share your story. Like, my shows aren't perfect. I'm hiccuping, I'm coughing. Like, I think once I blew my nose. I didn't even realize. I don't even know. I always have my iced coffee next to me and warm drinks, and I try not to have iced coffee actually because that's what makes me cough, cold drinks. You usually want to have some teas and warm water. Like yesterday I recorded for 6.5 hours and I had so many warm drinks next to me so that my voice would be good to go. Because that's a really long time to record, but I just had a lot of content I had to put out. So that was that. And now I'm coughing. Sorry, guys. So I wanted to put together this offer for those of you that just want to start. You need more information. Maybe it's on the coaching side, the design side, content side, production side, whatever the case may be. I want to help you. So all you need to do, like I said earlier, is send me a message on Facebook and Instagram. You can find me at The Happy Workaholic and tell me you're interested in this offer. We can hop on a call right away and I can figure out how I can actually help you start or launch a show. And that's really it. So I'm super excited to be doing that until the end of the month because I really wanted to help out as many other people as I can that really want a show. Nobody was there to do that for me. And I was super stressed out because I just got so involved in the tech part where I should have just streamlined it and made it simple like I do for my clients now. But lesson learned, and that's why I do what I do now. So if you're looking for the full coaching and production side of your podcast production, just go to thehappyworkaholic.com and then you'll see the programs right there and what it all includes. So if you have any other questions about equipment, products, podcasting, anything I mentioned in today's show, maybe something that I forgot, just shoot me a message on Facebook and Instagram. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope that you are inspired to just start. I hope that this information was useful. If it was, if you have somebody that you know that is ready to launch their own show, is dying to have their own podcast, share this episode with them and let me know if I can answer any questions for you. So that's all I have for today. I'm actually about to hop on a call with a new client and I'm excited about her new show. And yeah, so happy Friday and I will talk to you guys again very soon. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. If you liked this episode, please share it with someone who you feel needs to hear this message. And don't forget to tag me at The Happy Workaholic on Facebook and Instagram so I can feature you on my stories. And if you have 2 minutes and listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, I would love it if you could leave me a review. Those messages mean so much to us podcasters, and they really help me create more of the content that you'll love. Want to continue today's conversation? It's simple. Head to Facebook and search for the Happy Workaholic Network Facebook group. Answer the questions and you're in. For more information on myself, coaching programs, weekly newsletter, and more, visit thehappyworkaholic.com. The Happy Workaholic Podcast is part of the iHeartRadio Podcast Network. Be sure to follow the Happy Workaholic Podcast on iHeartRadio or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. I hope that your day continues to be happy, healthy, positive, and productive, and I'll talk to you again soon.